Yo, just thought I'd go live quickly. If everyone's viewing, good to see you in here. I think James Wins is in here. Appreciate it. We've got Tommy Fury versus, I don't even know who this guy is. Jordan Grant. I don't think this will go 2 rounds. Jordan Grant has just dipped out of the way of a right hand. But Fury with the height advantage over the orange-haired competitor in Jordan Grant. I watched a couple of videos of him and he didn't look all that, although that was before he went pro. I watched his fight against Andy Bishop, looked alright, but it's against a journeyman. And this is the journeyman slayer in the form of Jordan Grant in against Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury with a right hand circles over to right. Jordan Grant tries with an overhand right, which misses wildly. Tommy Fury with a feint. Catches him with a right hand. Jordan Grant did. Good shot. Left hook from Tommy. Tommy just electing to slowly move back in a straight line, which isn't good, but Grant isn't throwing anything, but he just got through with a jab there. I think once Tommy gets through with a big shot, then it'll pretty much be all over. As the football's coming home chant rings through. Those 600 or 700 Telford are in full voice. Uppercut on the inside from Tommy Fury. Ducks out the way of a couple of shots from Jordan Grant. Jab from Tommy Fury lands. Just approaching the last 30 seconds of this fight. Left hook as Tommy Fury exits to his left. He lands a left hook to the body of Jordan Grant. Right hand lands for Jordan Grant. Just caught Tommy Fury. What's up, Nathan? You good? I don't know how long I'll be on for. We'll see what happens with it. But with Daniel Dubois is in later on. We're in an interval. First round, Jordan Grant gets himself through, and he looked pretty decent, to be fair. Looked not too bad at all. There are levels in the sport. You've got your domestic, international, world-class, elite. What level do you see yourself at now, and what level do you think people see you as?
I see myself as an elite fighter right now, a young prospect with a lot of motivation, a lot of hunger, and I think people see me as a shitty amateur. So there's a sort of a big difference, and
boom. All right, we're back into the second round now. Jordan Grant bulldozes his way through with a couple of jabs to the body. They're separated by the referee. Misses with a right hand. Gets him with a jab from Tommy. This might go the distance. Jab from Tommy Fury lands. Jab and then out the way with some movement on the ropes. Tommy Fury separated by the referee just now. Oh, straight jab there lands from Jordan Grant, knocking back the head of Tommy. Right hand to the body from Tommy Fury. "90 seconds left of the second round. Tommy Fury not really putting a dent in his man just yet. I think once it does land a big shot, which is available for this fella in Jordan Grant, but Tommy just seems to be a little bit hesitant to want to throw something because he knows he'll get something back. Tommy just is way too hesitant. Just wants to jab and move. Uppercut on the inside there from Tommy Fury landed quite well. Jab from Tommy Fury, then a jab and a right hand from Jordan Grant. Right hand to the body from Tommy Fury. Right hand lands there on the chin of... Oh, he's hurt him there. He's hurt Grant. As Grant clinches with the right hand. Base statement indeed. Let's see you guys. If you're in here and you haven't already, please do hit the like button and subscribe. We would appreciate you guys showing your support if you can. Let's get this chat box up here. So make sure the chat's on there.
Remember, I'm saying this. He's going to make Canelo quit. Remember, I'm saying this.
You've said it. You said it for a while. So do you think? Why do you think Canelo will quit? Let's start there. Why do you think Canelo will quit?
Out of pure frustration, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Did you watch when Team Canelo walked past Team Saunders?
And they called them pussies. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Canelo break like that? Round 9. Round 9. He can't take no more. Humiliated. He gets schooled early.
Back in at round 3 now. Yeah, Tommy Fury is definitely winning these, but he's just he's been made to think and he's been challenged a little bit more, which is what you want to see, to be fair. Where there's been criticism of Tommy Fury and the opposition he's fought. He was going to be fighting Andy Bishop. I broke that news on Twitter. Someone else picked it up, and then it went viral from that. And after that, Andy Bishop was told he hasn't got the fight anymore. So Andy Bishop was had the fight taken away from him. Lewis Van Poch it was who told me that he had that fight. Lewis Van Poch himself wanted to fight Tommy Fury, but not getting the opportunity. Clinch on the ropes. Tommy's gotten a couple of shots through as Jordan bulldozes in, but after that, Jordan comes back with a couple of shots, and then the clinch is engaged by Tommy Fury. So double feint there from Tommy Fury, reminiscent of his brother Tyson Fury, and then attempted the jab, but Jordan was out of range. Tried to time it in with the uppercut as Jordan Grant was coming in, but he was about 6 inches to the right off of Jordan Grant's chin. Nice right hand there from Tommy Fury. Now he's unloading on Jordan Grant. Timed him with the right hand. He was coming in. Got in another right hand as well. Right hand to the body as well. Jordan Grant looks okay. But that was better work from Tommy. He's trying to land the uppercut. Trying to set it up, but he's not been able to. He's landed it a couple times, but not with anything with any real power. I think that money punch for Tommy Fury, well, the one he wants to land is a hard flush uppercut. He's just might suit better off abandoning it for the moment, just to land something a straight right, which has worked well in this round. Left hook from Tommy Fury lands. This is going the distance, I think. One more round to navigate through, which is credit to Jordan Grant. Three minutes left for Jordan Grant to navigate through a point to win. Right hander lands from Tommy Fury in the clinch. There's an uppercut in the clinch, and I firmly expect that Tommy Fury will look to land a big shot in this round. Right hand to the body from Tommy Fury. 2 minutes left in the round to go. Eats a hard jab. Yeah, Grant's still competitive in this fight, as John Rawling points out. I just wonder if Tommy Fury will look to try and land something big and just kind of go for it and get the stoppage. Just over 90 seconds left. Right hand lands for Jordan Grant. Right hook attempted. Jordan Grant ducks out the way a bit. A minute left in this round. Final round, that is. Oh, there's a clinch there. 20 seconds left. And Tommy Fury will get it out the way with a victory over Jordan Grant. Jordan Grant's going to throw hell for leather in this last 20 seconds, you'd imagine. What happened there? I have no idea what happened there. Absolutely no idea what happened there. Referee angry about something. Ahmed Khan asking who is winning. Tommy Fury surely won that fight on points. Tommy Fury did take a few shots in that fight from Jordan Grant, who did come to win. But Tommy Fury did enough there to win the rounds. At least 3, maybe even all 4 of them. Jordan Grant scoring, though, well enough with some shots as he's backing up Tommy Fury with a right hand every so often. But it was just a fleeting bit of success in those rounds, maybe 1 or 2 punches coming through. But Tommy Fury with some good jabs, right hands as well, right hands to the body, should have picked up the victory against his opponent Jordan Grant. So Tommy Fury winning that fight on my card. $40-36 to Tommy Fury. There's someone in the comments, I believe it's Cotton Eye Joe, saying draw. No, I think Tommy Fury, look, there were times in that fight you might have thought a little bit close because Jordan Grant was landing a couple of good shots, like the right hands along the ropes. But I think Tommy Fury did get enough off there to claim 3 rounds in that fight. One of them may be a little bit close because one of the shots, I remember a jab rocking back the head of Tommy Fury. I think that was in the second, and a right hand maybe in the third. But it was only a couple of times in the round in which where Tommy Fury was still picking up some nice jabs in return. So I think for me, look, that was a fight where Tommy Fury was challenged. He was challenged. That's exactly what we want to see. And he took a few shots, and he overcame what was an opponent who had more ambition than to just kind of shell up and take a beating and take a paycheck at the end of the day, at the end of the fight. So that's what you want from Tommy Fury, who a lot of people have criticized in terms of his opponents. Again, if you weren't here when I mentioned it, I was the one to put the news out there after doing an interview with Lewis Van Poch that he was going to be fighting Andy Bishop. I put that tweet out. The next day, some other outlet stole the information or took the information. Maybe they didn't steal it, actually. I'll retract that. Maybe they had their own informational source, but it just seemed a bit coincidental that after the interview came out on Boxing Social, they then said that they had their own source, and this is a guy from America, so what does he know about Andy Bishop and, getting a fight with Tommy Fury? But anyway, that information got put out there. A lot of heavy criticism came from that, including from one of the coaches of Jake Paul, I think. And then the opponent was suddenly changed with about a week to go, and Tommy Fury fights Jordan Grant. Tougher opponent, one that came to win. Tommy Fury comes through with the victory. You can't take loads from that, but you can at least take from the fact that he's beaten an undefeated opponent and somebody that came to win. So credit where credit's given, where it's due, and it's given here from me. Laura saying motherboard. No, this is my normal, usual setup now on the Mac. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps the visibility of the stream and the channel. And smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. But that was a points victory for Tommy Fury. Speaking of Jake Paul, who Tommy Fury could potentially fight, here's what Jake Paul said to me about potentially having CTE. I saw one of your videos. You had like a visit to the doctors who talked about like the damage that you've received already. Are you worried about, as you take more risks, the effects you've experienced and what could come?
Yes and no. It's a dangerous sport, and that's why when people question my dedication to it, it's like I'm showing up every single day. I'm putting my mental health on the line. My brain is on the line. I like you said, I've gone and gotten brain scans and have early signs of CTE, but I love this sport and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. And I'm a fighter, and people will see that, whether it's after Saturday night or whether it's a year from now that they will see that I'm a fighter.
I'm back. Yeah, so Cotton Eye Joe saying here, yes, and credit is due since he hasn't had a lot of amateur experience. Now, that's, yeah, you could take your time with that and get the amateur experience, and a lot of fighters now are coming in with limited amateur experience and coming into the pro game. And amateur experience definitely helps. It's a categorical that amateur experience does help you in the pro game. It's not a literal and natural. It's not a literal translation. There are a lot of amateur fighters who haven't translated well to the pro game. I think it's not Rolly Ramirez. Is it Robise or is that Rolly Ramirez? There was a recent amateur, I think a top rank one who done really well, but he lost his pro fight. I mean, he'll come back and win fights, but again, it's not a given being a solid amateur and then succeeding in the program. Just take a look at Frankie Gavin, who was an outstanding amateur, won the world championships, which has never been done before, and then didn't fulfill his potential in the pro game. But anyway, you like Ricky Hatton coming through, limited amateur experience, Dan Morrell coming through, limited, lots of fighters, and Tommy Fury is one of them. Who's come in with little amateur experience, and what they were looking to do is slowly build them through the program, and I get that. I completely get that. But the step up in opposition was needed, and they've done that. They've recognised it, and they've done it, which is good, because if they didn't recognise that and they just kept feeding them bums, then the boxing crowd will start writing them off. The people who are watching Tommy Fury because of Love Island, I don't think they'll care too much, to be honest with you. They kind of just see him want to win and knockout win. That kind of builds that momentum and builds that want to see him. But if he's true to the boxing form and wants to kind of succeed in boxing, he has to take those step ups, and that's what that proved to be. I didn't think Jordan Grant was gonna be a step up. I thought he'd blow him out in a couple of rounds, but he proved me wrong. He stayed in there. He gave Tommy Fury something to think about. Hit him and landed on him. Tommy took a couple of shots and showed he can take a couple of shots. A right hand over the top, we're seeing that. A jab went through him with a straight right hand when he was on the ropes as well. And he did all right. What I'd say is at times Tommy looked a little bit unnatural, but that's just a bit of a criticism. And he got caught on the ropes a little bit too much as well. There's that right hand over the top, followed by a left, which he was susceptible to. Which is credit to Jordan Grant for seeing that coming through. But I also think that if Tommy had caught him with something flush, Tommy kept electing to land an uppercut as Jordan Grant kept coming through. He wanted that money shot. That was his highlight reel knockout. And it could have been there. But I think he was too obvious with it. And it became predictable for him. And another day that uppercut might have landed and it might have floored Jordan Grant. But it didn't. And I thought maybe from there he could have adapted a little bit more. And maybe got hurt his opponent with a right hand timed in or a hook up top. I didn't see very many left or right hooks. They were mainly shot down to the body from Tommy Fury. But anyway, credit where it's due. He stepped up to opposition and got the win. Cotton Eye Joe saying, yes, but I have more respect towards him than Jake. Agreed. Since Tommy is at least fighting pro experienced fighters. You know what I think will happen with Jake Paul, right? I remember speaking to Oscar Bevis from IFL TV, right? And Oscar said he told me that we were in like the changing room with Tommy Fury and with Jake Paul, and their plan they were saying was to retire 5-0, undefeated, and they want to fight another UFC fighter, which was going to be Dylan Dennis, but it doesn't seem like it will be Dylan Dennis now. Well, it's confirmed to be Tyron Woodley. And then they were going to fight a former pro fighter with a decent name who is either shot, can't take a body punch, can't take a shot, or will lie down for money. What I think will happen is he'll do this fight with Tyron Woodley. He'll beat Tyron Woodley because, in my opinion, Tyron Woodley can't hold a shot anymore from what I've seen from him in the UFC. Now, some of the fighters he fought are decent fighters and can crack. I think one of the fights, I can't remember the fella's name he fought. It was his last fight. He got stopped by Dutch choke, but the shot before it was really what set it up. The way he got rocked after rocking his opponent. But yeah, I think Jake Paul will fight Tyron Woodley, and then what he'll do is he'll fight his former coach, I don't know which one it is, BJ Flores. Because BJ Flores is a cruiserweight, he fights at cruiserweight. BJ Flores was once broke, I believe. They've got a relationship, so they can kind of set the fight up in terms of, a knockout or anything like that, and, put that out there, and they both walk away with a lot of money, and it's credible in the sense that he's beaten a former champion, BJ Flores, wasn't he? Or did he just fight Tony Bellew for a vacant title? I'm searching BoxRec. I want to get this right. I want to say he was a former champion, weren't he? IBO. Yeah. If you call the IBO a valid championship, then he was the IBO champion. Some do, some don't. I don't, to be fair, but for those that do, he's a former IBO cruiserweight champion. So yeah, that they can from the Jake Paul audience, they're not going to be bothered about IBO champion or not. They're just going to see IBO. They're going to see world champion. They go, oh wow, former world champion, and they'll orchestrate their knockout, and that'll give Jake Paul the opportunity to sail away with a quote unquote credible boxing career. He seemed to go the distance with Scott Williams, didn't he? No, Tommy Fury stopped Scott Williams. Third round, I think. Next up is Nathan Heaney in against Ilya Markov. Not the best of opponents, sure, but 3 weeks' notice. Nathan Heaney had, I'm sure he won't mind me saying, he had 3 weeks' notice for this fight, so it's somewhat forgivable. Nathan Heaney is, I know Nathan Heaney personally. He's given me a lot of time. Really genuine fella. I've been able to properly connect with him. I went up to see him on Tuesday, went to his gym, got some content with him, got an interview with him for Boxing UCV. Absolutely lovely fella. Deserves the spotlight he gets here, and for him, I think his dream is to capture the British title. Him and his dad had that dream for him to win that title before his dad sadly took his own life. An absolutely moving and touching emotional story. It's worth reading it and checking it out on I think if you search Nathan Heaney's suicide prevention, or if you go on Nathan Heaney's Instagram, if you go on Nathan Heaney's Instagram and you look at one of his posts, I think it's like in fact I'll get it up because it's genuinely worth having a look at because it's very moving. I think his dad took his life, and then like 4 or 5 weeks after, he was fighting in Stoke. So let's have a look if I can find it. Here we go. Can I put this link in? Let's have a quick look for you. Very much worth taking a look at that little video. Very moving and touching promo from the fighter that's coming in next in the form of Nathan Heaney, who sadly lost his life to his father taking his own life after mental health issues. And Nathan Heaney has helped. And he's not just a boxer in terms of just being Stoke and having a Stoke backing. He looks to affect change locally and raising awareness for, in suicide, male suicide. So a lot to like about him. Potential, can he win a British title? Possibly. Will he have to have the right fight? Yes. But the potential is there for Nathan. Let's see what you guys are saying. Has Madfoot21 plays. Has Fury won? Yes, Fury has won on points against Jordan Grant. Tough little fight for Tommy Fury. Gets the victory. Had to be challenged. Had to take a couple of shots. But just about managed as well to nick a few rounds. Win the rounds. We're in at least three of the rounds. 4 of the rounds in total. He won 40-36. So that's all 4. And Tommy Fury comes through with the victory. Thanks for not watching. Got Raiders of the Lost Ark on TV at my grandma's. No worries, James Winter. Appreciate you being in here and stopping by. Being a good grandson for a few weeks. Well, that's always a great thing to do. In this pandemic period, we haven't been able to see, our grandparents and everything like that. So getting that valuable time with, people we love and people we haven't been able to see for a long time because we've been shielding them is great. So I hope you're also enjoying your time with your grandma, James. That's very nice to hear. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think I remember seeing that as a kid. I haven't seen any of the Indiana Jones movies, since I've been older. I think I remember seeing one of them, the one with the monkey and they eat the monkey brain or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Thanks for the guard insight, Ames. Very much appreciated. I forgot what I said. Cotton Eye Joe. Would they do that? Cotton Eye Joe, I believe so. I genuinely believe so. You're talking about Jake Paul versus BJ Flores. Yes, 100%. It's about manufacturing a record and a career for Jake. He'll beat Tyron Woodley. He might go after the fight with Tyron Woodley. He might indeed fight Dylan Dallas instead. Or he might fight a YouTuber. He might fight KSI. But in my opinion, what I think is very, very likely, I'm just making sure, as far as I'm aware of what I've been told, it's second-hand information, but it's from a decent enough source, that being someone, a reporter in the industry. Yeah, so this will be his 4th fight against Tyron Woodley. So unless there's how many fights has he signed up for Showtime? Is it a 2-fight deal with Showtime? Let's see this. You'd think that Showtime would want to sign him for more than just the 2 fights. You think they'd want to sign him for anything with the amount of money that he brings in. That's for starters. I have been told as well that he's very, very, very hard to work with, which is interesting. Why would Triller get rid of such a commodity when he's selling out, 1.5 million? Okay, there's no confirmation of there's no exact number of fights that he's signed down for. So Cotton Eye Joe's saying 5 fights, I'm sure. Okay, so the original plan would have been to have 5 and be done. So then maybe it ends with BJ Flores or something like that, but that's what I think. I think he'd end up fighting BJ Flores. I'm not sure Jake would be up for that, especially considering BJ Flores said Vidal Riley would be too much for a challenge for Jake. The point is, I think because there was a close relationship with it, I think they could manufacture something, and there's a storyline there of coach and boxer, and for someone who needed money before, might be swayed to do something and lie down for Jake. Declan Scott, has the fight started with Dubois? No, we got the co-main event, Nathan Heaney versus Ilya Markov, coming up now. James Gornall asking, has Tommy Fury fought yet? No, he hasn't. Sorry. Oh my god. Let's do that again. James Gordon asking, has Tommy Fury fought yet? Yes, he has. He has won on points against Jordan Grant. Tough fight. Had to dog it out a little bit there. But got with a few shots. Took a few shots. And he's come through with the victory. Jake Paul owned half of Twitter. Triller. Well, why have they let him go then, Cotton Eye Joe? What do you think has happened there? Cotton Eye Joe. I was reading that wrong there. Yeah. Why do you think they've let him go? Because Triller said that they've run their race really with Jake. I thought it was Snoop that had the vested interest in Triller. $600 tickets sold. Yeah, so who owns Triller Fight Club? This says Ryan Kavanagh and Snoop Dogg co-founded Triller. I don't think he owns it, unless I'm wrong. You're welcome to show me. I might not be seeing it, but you're welcome to show me if it is the case that Jake Paul does own a bit of Triller. I'm just going to listen to Delilah here now, and I'll answer a couple of questions after this, because this is going to be great to hear the fans from Stoke singing Delilah. If you're not watching this, it's very much worth watching it. Nathan Heaney making his way to the ring after singing Delilah, with the fans backing him, singing it as well. Brilliant to hear. Steve Woodwine in his company as well. A good trainer out from Stoke at Orm Boxing Club. Got some good fighters there at Orm Boxing Club, making their way through the sport. And you've got the BCB link there as well. I had the pleasure of going to the gym there. Steve Woodvine is very much a fan of his whippets, and Nathan Heaney is one of his favourite whippets in the boxing form. You got fighters like Cole Johnson, who've overcome problems with gambling and gambling addiction to come back and get focus on the sport, and he's looking to return to the ring on a small hall show soon. Luke Catchy as well, super middleweight out from Stoke, has been on the undercards, who looks decent enough. Atal Khan is a good fighter. There's another fighter by the name of Sean something who they're really, really high on. And that was the entrance. 600 Stoke fans going crazy singing Delilah. Very enjoyable to hear the Stoke fans there. Right then, let's see what you guys say. I'm back now to read the comments. Progressive Mind is asking, can Dinu pull off an upset? So, I fully expect Daniel Dubois to win and to knock out Bogdan Dinu within 6. Can Dinu pull off an upset? Yeah, of course. It's by no means... There are questions to be asked of Daniel Dubois, who's only been with Shane McGuigan for a short period of time. So can you expect change in that short period of time? You can and you can't. Daniel Dubois is young, so he might pick up things a lot easier than if he'd be coming late with someone like Shane McGuigan. But when you're younger, you tend to pick up things a lot quicker. The biggest thing you want to pick up is head movement. I don't think they'll have worked on that. I think they'll have worked on setting up the right hand as fast and quick as possible. Bogdan Dinu has been one of those fighters. Whenever he's stepped up the opposition, he's been found out very severely. Jarrell Miller knocked him out. Kubrat Pulev knocked him out. And then he's kind of like, I mean, why is he in this position in the first place? Because he lost against Pulev. He wins 2 shitty little fights wherever he fought, and now he's back in for a WBA interim. Dubois shouldn't be in for an interim, and nor should Dina really. But hey ho, that's how the world works. Look, we don't know how that eye will hold up, and you never know. Bogdan Dinu could catch him with something. The head movement is still an issue, and I don't think the change will have been affected too much. And the heavyweight game, as the cliche goes, anything can change with a big punch. With that all said, though, I do believe Daniel Dubois should win within 6, possibly a lot earlier than that. But I'm going for the Dubois win. Can he pull off the upset? Yes. Will he? I don't think so. Nathan Heaney versus Ilyan Markov in the ring right now. Stoke's finest, Nathan Heaney, against Bulgarian, I believe, Ilyan Markov. Ilyan, I think, will go a few rounds, maybe 3, 4, or 5, and eventually be stopped. Double jab, right hand to the body. All shots to the body there from Ilyan Markov. 1-2-1 there from Nathan Heaney. The right hand got through. The other 2 jabs didn't get through. Center ring for Nathan Heaney. Uppercut and then a jab for Nathan. We've got Nathan Heaney in the ring now, who's just come out to a vociferous crowd there. And will that crowd affect him? Will he kind of look to step on the gas, and could he get caught with something? You never know. You never know. Right hand over the top from Markov. Tried to time in there with the right hand, just missed. 1-2 left hook there from Nathan Heaney. Overhand right from Markov. Uppercut lands there for Nathan Heaney. Good shot. Uppercut on the inside there from Nathan Heaney. The fans are singing Delilah. It's great to hear. Oh, just going on looking to pull the trigger there, but Markov was just out of the way. That's the end of the first round. When does the fight start? The fight should start after this fight. I'm just going to quickly go to the toilet. This is me speaking to Jake Paul a couple of weeks back. I had the opportunity to speak to Jake Paul, and here's what he said to me. There are levels in the sport. You've got your domestic, international, world-class, elite. What level do you see yourself at now, and what level do you think people see you as?
I see myself as an elite fighter right now. A young prospect with a lot of motivation, a lot of hunger. And I think people see me as a shitty amateur. So there's a sort of a big difference, and there's a big gap in between where I'm actually at and what the general audience will think. But I'm excited again to show my ability on Saturday against Ben, who is a world-class fighter.
Let's see what you guys are saying as Nathan Heaney moves into the second round against Ilyan Markov. Excuse me. He signed with them and he had some money invested into Triller. Nice stream. Just subscribed. I appreciate that very much, Cotton Eye Joe. Nathan Heaney catches Markov with the right hand there. And he's trying to time him again with the right hand. Excuse me. Yeah, so I appreciate you subscribing, Cotton Eye Joe, and I appreciate you bringing in the questions as well. Helps me to bounce back off with you guys and offer any insights that I have, and you guys can give me your insights as well, because it creates good conversation. So if you haven't already, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I do some content on my channel here, doing the live streams, and I do interview over for Boxing News TV, and some of the interviews come over to here, so you will see the Liam Smith interview, Askey interview, Jake Paul interviews. Much more content is coming up here and on Boxing News TV as well, so make sure you subscribe over at Boxing News TV. I also did some content for Boxing Social. One of my interviews on Boxing Social hit 100k, so I was ecstatic with that. That was an interview with Peter Fury, who said that the whole Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury situation was very misleading, misled us fans. We all thought we were going to get it, and at the last moment it got pulled away from us. Promoters were saying the fight was going to happen, other promoters weren't, and it was all misleading. Big overhand right there from Markov Lance. It was just brushed off the elbow, the shoulder actually of Nathan Heaney. But yeah, going from strength to strength, much more content is coming up here. I'm just building my PC now, which is very nearly done. I just need the monitor, and it'll be done. But yeah, thank you very much, Cotton Eye Joe, for subscribing. Agreed, bro. I'm not sold on Dubois. Clearly a bang-up. It seems like he's limited in regards to creativity. Look, Shane McGuigan will bring that out of him. Shane McGuigan is a fantastic coach. Shane McGuigan creates Ghana's champions. David Hay, George Groves, Josh Taylor. It's such a shame with Luke Campbell that he hasn't captured his championship. Had the ability, but just at the wrong time. Luke Campbell is. He's definitely world champ. He should have been a world champion, I think, but he's in the wrong time period. He just didn't come at the right time. But yeah, Shane McGuigan, a fantastic trainer, and it's a brilliant move to move Dubois over to Shane McGuigan. The things we know with Dubois is head movement needs to change, shot variety needs to change. I'm not sold on the punch power either of Daniel Dubois. When have you really seen Daniel Dubois really fold someone in half? Take, for example, Fujimoto. Fine, he beat and stopped Fujimoto, but Fujimoto was what? A middleweight or a super middleweight coming up all the way to heavyweight, which is just crazy in its own right. And it was a multitude of punches which eventually stopped stopped Fujimoto. I do think Daniel Dubois can crack, but I think maybe there's a bit of technique lost in his punches that stops him from being like, you talk about your Wilders who have insane power in that right hand, and then there's quite a big drop down in terms of that devastation of a KO to what Daniel Dubois carries. So I'm not sold yet, or I still can't pinpoint where Daniel Dubois' power stands in amongst all the other heavyweights. Now, power isn't the be-all and end-all. See that with Tyson Fury. But you will need to back up your punches with something in the heavyweight game. Daniel Dubois does have that. I'm not saying he doesn't have that. I just can't gauge where it is in amongst all the heavyweights. Yeah, a bit more variety and creativity. I think that's going to come with experience. He's only 23. There is no need to rush Daniel Dubois, which is a shame because... Not a shame that he's WBA interim heavyweight championship. Yeah, they both shouldn't be in this position. and it's not a shame for him to if he wins that belt, because great for him, right? But it's a shame that they're looking to speed him up after the Joe Joyce fight, when really I think they should just slow down and give him more time. Give him more time with Shane McGuigan, and don't push him in, straight away into like getting to the world title scene. But I think what they're looking at is that the belts will fragment because of the AJ Fury situation. AJ might vacate with Usyk. Who knows about the WBA belt? Who knows about whatever belts left, in their IBF? And they think there might be an opportunity with the WBA. So potentially he could be a world champion within the next 18 months to 2 years. But you don't need to rush him. Is my point. Nathan Heaney in the ring. Overhand right lands for Ilya Markov. We're in the third round. Scheduled for 10. This will not go 10. Markov has only ever gone 8, and he looked gassed at around 6 when I saw him in one of his fights. So he must have been super gassed at 8. I think this will end in about 5 or 6. Might even end in this round or the next one. But Steve Woodwine is a coach. That's Nathan Heaney's coach, who likes to set up punches and not go gung-ho if it's not necessary. He likes to take it slow, find those opportunities, and then look to crack on with it. Steve Woodwine told me, there's a cracking body shot there from Nathan Heaney, lands on Ilya Markov. As I was about to say, Steve Woodwine says he takes responsibility for Nathan not having a lot of knockouts on his record, because he wants to temper him and he wants to make sure he's setting up those knockouts. And it's a bit of a unknown weapon, Nathan Heaney's power, because Steve Woodwine is putting him on the leash there and stopping him because he wants to be up behind the boxing. But Nathan Heaney with a cracking body shot there stops Ilya Markov in his tracks in the third round to send the Stoke fans home happy as he takes his bows, claps his fans there. Great to see Nathan with the win. Again, very likeable guy. Got a great backstory. Again, if you don't know, his father sadly took his own life. Nathan Heaney fought 4 weeks later and has tried to effect change locally in his hometown of Stoke to raise awareness for suicide prevention. So great guy Nathan Heaney is. What are you guys saying here? When does the fight start, bro? Godhand Neo. It's gonna start very imminently. Nathan Heaney's just beat Ilya Markov, so that means Daniel Dubois is next. Wojek Luki, have you a link for the fight? I can't send you a link, unfortunately. Sorry, mate. Otherwise, I'll end up getting banned here. None of which are Shane's lads. They're all experienced when they're thingy. Not taking away from Shane, but he's not had a fight from scratch. Yeah, look. I'm not saying that he's not like like almost like a Reynoso, right? Where Reynoso's taken Canelo from what was he, the age of 15 or whatever it is, and then grown him into what he is right now. Like what Reynoso will do with Ryan Garcia. Again, not from day dot. But he brings them on, takes them on, and he improves them. That's what Shane McGuigan does. Shane McGuigan has improved every fighter that I can think of. If you can come up with a name that Shane McGuigan hasn't improved, by all means tell me. There probably is one or two. But in high-profile situations where Shane McGuigan is given a fighter who has potential, Shane McGuigan has unlocked the potential of that fighter. And George Groves, with Adam Booth, didn't work out. They had those problems. George Groves was great, and they had those problems before the fight with Carl Froch. Then he went to Paddy Fitzpatrick, which wasn't a great move, and then eventually he went to Shane McGuigan, didn't they? And with Shane McGuigan, he won that world title. And that was a George Groves who was depreciating as a fighter as well. George Groves was never the same after that fight with Carl Froch. Never the same. It took something out of him, that second fight did. It really did. As with age, of course, he just lost that bit of that fast twitch, the bit of the always had that jab, and I believe that jab, it's hard to say improve, but it did improve. But also the fact that he was able to keep the jab strong under Shane McGuigan, and keep more grounded as well as a fighter, I think was really good. So. Damn, you should become a trainer since you know a lot. No, I definitely don't know a lot. I just watch boxing. It's just opinion, mate. You're very much welcome to say your own stuff. I'll read it out and I'll let you know if I agree with it or not. I don't know too much about training though, to be honest with you. That makes no sense. Clearly, you've never boxed. I've never boxed to any standard of like professional fight or amateur fight. I do a bit of boxing. In a boxing gym, and I think your next question says, have you even ever sparred? Yes, I have sparred a couple of fights. Not fights, sorry. I've sparred numerous rounds with my coach who was a ISKA ISKA is that's kickboxing, isn't it? I think he was some form of maybe Midlands or area ISKA champion or boxing ISKA or something like that. You know? It's not ISK because ISK is fucking. Oh no, it is ISK. Yeah, kickboxing thingy. So yeah, I box rounds with sparred rounds with my coach, but nothing to a any sort of level. So no, I'm not a boxer. Mr. I Am Legend. Shane certainly knows how to get the best out of a fight in regards to strength and conditioning. Well, yeah, I think other fighters, I said, like, when they've been with other coaches, they leave that to the fighters to do their own thing. I think Dave Caldwell's like that. Dave Caldwell says, handle your own strength and conditioning and other things like that. That's another thing. That's another point. I'm just here. The boxing coach, Shane McGuigan, brings that sort of thing in. The whole kind of aspect of everything in boxing. I'm Legend. I don't know if you're a troll because you were saying some other crazy shit earlier. But if you're trolling, you're welcome. If you're here for some boxing talk, you're welcome. Back in 20 seconds, I'm just going to pop to the toilet. Here's my conversation with... Who we're going to go to here? We're going to go to... Let's go to my second conversation. No, let's go to Ashley. Let's go.
Remember I'm saying this, he's going to make Canelo quit. Remember I'm saying this.
You've said it. You said it for a while. So do you think? Why do you think Canelo will quit? Let's start there. Why do you think Canelo will quit?
Out of pure frustration, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Did you watch when Team Canelo walked past Team Saunders?
And they called them pussies. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Canelo break like that? Round 9. Round 9, he can't take no more. Humiliated. He gets schooled early. Tries to go for the kill round 5, 6. Realizes he can't do it. Billy Joe steps up the gas, intimidates him in his face. And I think Canelo says, you know what? I've had enough. And says, I'm not going out. He's humiliated.
I'm back, fellas. I'm back. Let's see what you guys are saying. Just got Frank Warren in here, just talking about Daniel Dubois. Talking about how we're going to find out about whether Daniel Dubois has got the heart. Look, let me know, everyone in here, let me know your thoughts on Daniel Dubois, if he quit or not. Because I want to get your thoughts and opinions on whether you thought him taking the knee and saying no, I want no more of Joe Joyce was a quit in your opinion or not. Sean O'Connell saying, yeah, he did quit. So Sean O'Connell baying for blood with Daniel Dubois. Progressive Mind saying, only he can really know, in my opinion. But he looks shocked when he got hit back. Let's get a few more of your opinions. Again, I'm asking you guys right now, do you believe when Daniel Dubois fought Joe Joyce that he quit? When in the 11th round, when he saw the eye, he kept taking shots to the eye, he took a knee and didn't get back up to answer the 10 count. Do you believe, in your opinion, that that was a quit? I'm going to get to your comments in a second after I quickly pop to the toilet. Let's have a look at... Do I have a Chisora clip here? Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, we went
In the same way...
To be totally honest, I feel a lot different from not only...
And I think it's important to be able to embrace what you have. And I think it's important to be able to show that it's not sexualizing the sport. What it's doing is it's showing femininity. It's showing that we're still women as well. You know what I mean? And that's okay. And it's okay to be feminine and do a male-dominated thing and male-dominated sport, or something that's maybe not looked at feminine. Why can't like the UFC do it? They have no problem with the girls looking pretty up there. Like, it's just it's funny. It's just such a crazy topic that everyone's so wild about. Like, I mean, I weigh in underwear, literally weighing in underwear. Everyone else weighs in underwear as well. Like, what? You know what I mean? It's just the way I look. It's how I am, And I'm all about being you, being real. And I'm gonna go and play down my looks, or not do my hair, or wear something baggy that doesn't show my body, or put on track pants when I train in case someone looks at my ass and goes, oh, that's sexualizing boxing, or try and tape down my chest because it's big to try and hide the fact that I have a chest. Why? You know what I mean? I just don't understand what it is, and we got to use what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone has it. So then you got to use what you got. Go use what you got, whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? But why should I not use everything that I have, including my personality, including my looks, including my skill and my intelligence that I have?
So when people talk about karma and all this law of attraction, this woman came round to my house one time. She's always going on about the universe. She's always writing nice Facebook statuses saying, if you put this out into the universe will send this back to you. So I said to her, what do you know about the universe? What does E equals MC squared mean? And she was like, E equals M is let me just have a look on Google. So I said, don't bother looking on Google. You tell me what E equals MC squared means. You're always going on about the universe. I've done a little open universe. I've done a little shit course, physics. So I know what it means. What do you know about a proton? That's what I said to her. Or an electron.
Should you win at the weekend, Dillian, what is the situation with the title shot you were looking for? Do you expect to have to wait, or would you expect the WBC to acknowledge from what your perspective at the time was, at the time that you had before, to wait for that title?
They better fucking acknowledge. I've waited long enough, and the manager situation is still going on. Mempovic is in contract. It's not like I've lost someone and no, it's still a contract. So the manager position is just on hold at the minute. So the winner of this fight should just be mandatory and should be in line for the title fight next. Hopefully they have to wait 1,000 days again, whatever it was.
I just want to quickly hone in on the biggest criticism as you as a fighter, in that your fights aren't the most entertaining to watch on what is going to be the biggest stage of your career. Is there any want for you to shed that tag of not being an entertaining fighter?
Yes, quite simply. Yeah, I'll be honest. Obviously, with time, that stuff becomes more clear. But I think if I can get a good knockout here in a exciting, I don't want it to be too exciting in terms of give and take, but I want it to be exciting in terms of me giving. I I think it will be difficult with the run of form that I've had. I think I've had like four sole knockouts in a row. I can't remember how many I'm winning a world title by knockout. I think it'll be difficult for people to, hold on to the past. It was, I don't know, a couple of years ago now, but we'll see.
Couple of questions for me. Chris, there are those in the boxing public who have been critical of the standard of some of the fighters you fought, this being the case here with Marcus Morrison, most notably Time Booth, who believes you're fighting his leftovers, as he says. What's your thoughts on the criticisms about the opponent you've picked for this weekend?
I didn't pick the opponent. My promoters picked the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I agreed. I'm not going to turn down a fight. I've been out of the ring for a long time. If anyone who's not happy with it, there's a big red button at the top of your remote, so you can put your finger on it, and it makes the screen go dark.
Right, boys, I am back. Just went to the toilet, got myself some water. Right then, I asked you guys in the chat, do you think Daniel Dubois quit? And we're getting some comments of, no, I don't think so. Yes, it did. A point of contention, as it should be and as it would be. Before I get to my opinions and thoughts on the quit or no quit aspect of Daniel Dubois, there's a few of you asking in the chat. Make sure, if you haven't already, please do hit the like and subscribe button, as it helps me out greatly. Trying to get to maybe 305 subscribers, so if you haven't already, please do smash that like button and subscribe. It greatly helps me out, and I greatly appreciate your support if you haven't already done that. The fight is next. The fight is happening very, very soon. We've just got a couple of promos, couple of little adverts, and then the fight's happening next. Daniel Dubois against Bogdan Dinu is happening next. Probably in about the next 10 minutes it will start, if it's not going to the ring walks already. But yes, Daniel Dubois, Bogdan Dinu, happening very, very soon. It is the next fight, 10 minutes or so, I think. Do you know the link? I can't give you the link, unfortunately. Dinu is my coach, best coach ever. Marilina Irimia is saying Dinu will win. Is Bogdan Dinu your coach? Is that what you're saying? You're trained by Bogdan Dinu, are you? Marilina Irimia. Well, great to have you in here anyway, Marilina. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. And if Bogdan's your coach, I never knew he did the coaching side of boxing. I thought he was just a boxer. What else are you guys saying in here? Great pair of cans. Sean O'Connell, great to have you in here. Michael Thompson, yes, Ames. Yes, Michael. Good to see you in here. Appreciate you joining in. Savage question for Junior there. Subbed. Appreciate it, Michael. Thank you very much. Yeah, savage question indeed, but it had to be done. Bit of criticism for Junior, and he answered it. And to be fair, he was alright about it. So I thought it raised a little bit of a smile with him. I was hoping maybe he might respond to Ty directly with it, but he didn't. But that's another thing. Okay, so Daniel Dubois, quit or no quit? I'll be honest with you guys. I find it very hard to say to a professional fighter when I'm not in the position of being a professional fighter to say, "Oh, you're a quitter. You are a quitter." I find it really hard to say that because you don't know what's going on there. You see the eye, you see it's busted, you see that he how do you look at it? How do you judge it? Because the eye was swelled, or he says it was broke from round 2 or 3. So then he fought on from round 2 or 3 all the way to round 11. So is there a warrior spirit there to continue for that length of time, and then to say, look, no more, I've had enough? I think there's a level of honesty in what Daniel Dubois did. He recognized he couldn't continue. He took the knee and said, look, I'm done. Whereas with other fighters, when they're in that position, they manufacture an exit where maybe the coach will pull them out, and that way the coach takes the flak, the trainer takes the flak, as opposed to the fighter taking the flak. And there's a level of dishonesty there, because that shields that fighter from the quit aspect of it, from in that sort of sense. What Daniel Dubois did was said, look, this is how I feel about it. I'm done. that's enough for me. Will I call him a quitter? Like, again, sorry, before I get to that, that Mexican fighter who fought is 4 foot, like 4 foot something Mexican fighter. Aragon Vega? Yeah, before I even Google it. That Aragon Vega fought recently. And here's a comparison for you. Because I didn't see any of the hardcore fans. So when Axel Aragon Vega fought Hirota Kayaguchi for the WBA World Light Flyweight title, I'm just reading it here on BoxRec just to remind myself. Aragon Vega was doing really well in the fight. It looked like he was in the fight. For some people, he was winning the fight. It was turning into a great fight. He then hits a right hand, I believe it was, hits Kayaguchi on the face somewhere, and his hand or something breaks, or his wrist or whatever. Something he gets an immense amount of pain, and you can see the anguish on his face. He turns around and goes to the floor, I think, and the fight's over because at the moment that let's say for example his hand broke, he said no. I didn't see anyone calling him a quitter. Maybe people in Mexican fight fans might have called him a quitter. But then the comparison was that Daniel Dubois had broke his eye socket in the second and continued all the way up until the 11th round, and then said, "Look, no more." So like he fought with that pain and that growing pain through those rounds. So how do you judge that? Like, do you say that's a quit? Do you say that like he fought on through it? Excuse me. It's what you want, really. But for me personally, look, I'm not going to call him a quitter. And I take the same point that even if I did call him a quitter, you're right. There's no shame in it either. He's a young fella who can come again and might have made the right choice in taking the knee. In fact, my opinion was he did make the right choice in taking the knee. But will I call him a quitter? No, I can't do that. But there are a lot more people in the boxing industry who maybe are better placed than I am to say that he is or isn't, or even indeed a bit more ruthless than I am. Bogdan Dinu is walking to the ring now as we speak. I can see him there as he raises his right hand up into the air. Bogdan Dinu with the Romanian flag draped around his neck. Coming out to That's Life. Let's see what you guys are saying. I appreciate you subscribing, Michael Thompson. Thank you so much for that. 10-1 for Dinu to go past 8 rounds on WH. I don't know what WH is. Not much of a betting man myself, so I don't bet. But if you do, I wish you all the best. Is the fight on? It's not on just yet. Daniel Dubois is walking to the ring as we speak. Can he stay mobile enough to upset the rhythm and negate power? 8 rounds. Eight rounds. No, I don't think so. I think this goes less than 6. I think this goes less than 6. It's showtime, Sean Connor. Let's not forget. Sorry, Sean. Before I get to your comment, let's not forget Bogdan Dinu is a lot more experienced. At least in having those fights against your Pulevs and Jarrell Millers. It's showtime, Sean O'Connell says. It is indeed showtime. Make sure, if you haven't already, I'm going to say it again, hit the like and subscribe button. As we're getting ready for the main event, the fight is introductions and records are just about to be announced. So if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. Les Reed, hi man, great to see you in here, Les. Appreciate it. Good to see you in here. Haha, he rolls over in 3, bro. You're going for 3. 3 rounds. Oh, here we go. What's this here? What's this comment? We got Romanian flags. I haven't seen it just yet. Dubois gets smashed again tonight. Mark my words. That's by Gotchi Christian. Sorry if I said your name wrong there. In fact, Bit of a Romanian link with me. My brother went to Constanta. Went to university in Constanta, so he was there for like 5-6 years in Romania. So yeah, some of my family have been in Romania. Look, it can happen. Look, inexperience. Look at what happened with Kell Brook. Kell Brook had the one eye smashed by Golovkin, healed up, and they're told that what happens with these injuries is, or at least in Kell's circumstance, they told him that because of the metal plate in the skull of Kell Brook, they said that there might be a weakness in the other eye, and that's what happened in the next fight against Errol Spence Jr. He got cracked in the other eye and fractured his other eye socket. So we don't know about the extent of the injury in terms of whether Daniel Dubois needed a metal plate or not, but could that be an issue for Daniel Dubois in that he'll have the one eye socket gone, but the other one might be weak as well. He might get tagged with something else and he'll end up with 2 broken eye sockets. You never know. If you haven't already, please do hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me out massively. 23 of you guys in here. Thank you so much for joining me. We're about to get the fight from Bucharest. Bogdan Dinu is raising his hands in the air as he gets introduced to us watching and the fans at the arena in Telford. A lot of the fans have gone away now. The Stoke fans, Nathan Heaney's fans have gone. Daniel Dubois at 17 stone, 2 pounds, 15 wins, 14 by knockout, 1 defeat. That to Joe Joyce. Give me your predictions. What you think is going to happen. I'm telling you that Daniel Dubois will beat Bogdan Dinu in 6 rounds. I'm going to go for the 4th round. But within 6 rounds, Daniel Dubois will win by knockout or stoppage. One of the two. If he loses tonight, Daniel Dubois' career, it's over. It's going to take a long... I won't say it's over, but it'll take a long, long, long time to rebuild. And it should do if he does lose to Bogdan Dinu. Bogdan Dinu, Daniel Dubois, bell for the first round rings. Daniel Dubois on his heels, back and forth, not flat-footed, back and forth on his heels right now. Jab lands through for Daniel Dubois. So just feeling out Bogdan Dinu, but lands straight on the chin. Jab to the chest and jab to the body from Daniel Dubois, and then a right hand straight down to the body. Jab there from Dubois to the chest of Dinu. Jab and a right hand over the top. Just misses from Daniel. Tries it again. Just misses again. Jab and a right hand to the body this time. Straight right hand lands for Daniel Dubois. Bogdan Dinu takes it and circles off to his left. Just misses with the right hand there. Daniel Dubois did. Tries the right hand. Bogdan Dinu did, but Daniel Dubois ducked down low. Dinu put him in the clinch and landed a right hook down to the body. The referee just gave them both a bit of a telling off there. Jab there from Daniel Dubois lands. Quicker. He's faster and quicker than Bogdan Dinu. Bogdan Dinu steps forward with the jab. Overhand right there from Daniel Dubois lands partially. Dinu is covering up here. He might have been hurt by that overhand right. Eats a left hook to the body as well. Jab and a right hand over the top from Dinu. Dubois is out the range of it and then clinches. I don't know if I just saw Daniel Dubois like little wince with his left eye. I might have just been reading too much into that. Jab there lands for Daniel. jab there from Daniel. Second jab gets caught in the gloves of Dinu. Dinu returns with a jab but misses. Right hand lands to Daniel Dubois. Left hook, right hook to the body from Daniel. Daniel Dubois moves his head from left to right, then tries with the right hand, but didn't land. Dinu tries to land a right hand. Dubois is out of the way of it. Exchange of jabs. It looks like Dubois landed. A jab lands there for Bogdan Dinu. Bell for the first round rings. Decent round for Daniel Dubois. That's the first round done and gone. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Here's a quick little clip of me speaking to Jake Paul, if you haven't seen it.
There are levels in the sport. You've got your domestic, international, world-class, elite. What level do you see yourself at now, and what level do you think people see you as?
I see myself as an elite fighter right now, a young prospect with a lot of motivation, a lot of hunger, and I think people see me as a shitty amateur. So there's a sort of a big difference, and there's a big gap in between where I'm actually at and what the general audience will think.
And we're in round 2 now. Dubois looking upright and stiff. Yeah, I mean, at the start he looked like he was bouncing back up on his toes, but yeah, it's a similar sort of stuff with Dubois. You are right there, Michael. A little bit more head movement, though, I saw in the first round. Now he's pouring it on to Dinu. Drops Dinu with the right hand. After, what was it, a 5-punch combination, went down to the body with a left hook and then came up with the right hand, I think it was. And Dinu doesn't look like he's going to get up from this. And Dinu is down and it's over. A right hand does the damage. Bogdan Dinu is floored and can't make the count from the referee after a right hand demolishes him. He had Dinu up against the ropes, unloaded with a combination that went up, started up top, I believe, then went down to the body, then went back up, and Dinu was open for it. And the family there are happy with that, as is Frank Warren. Excuse me. Daniel Dubois returns in impressive fashion, getting the knockout victory over Bogdan Dinu. Well, one of you, I think it was Progressive Mind, was right. He'll do him in 3, and he did him in round 2. So congratulations to Progressive Mind. Right, jab up top, right hand, up top again. He went down to the body with a shot, and then went back up to the top. Let's have a look. Jab, jab, right hand, left hook, left hook to the body, right hook up top, or right straight right hand. Jab, jab, right hand, up top, jab up top, right hook up top, left hook down to the body, misses, eats a jab, comes back with a right hand. Dinu's on the ropes, lands on the chin, and Dinu is crumpled looking at the lights. And Daniel Dubois secures the knockout victory in the second round over heavyweight Bogdan Dinu and captures the WBA Interim World Heavyweight Championship in the process. Congratulations to Daniel Dubois beating Bogdan Dinu in the second round. Let's get your thoughts, guys. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Nice, says Sean Connell. He's laughing at the emphatic victory from Daniel Dubois. Great shot from Dubois. He picked it very well. Picked it in action after as well getting tagged by a shot. He's coming back straight away with something. So that's good work from Dubois. Didn't even look like full power either. No. Again, still hard to gauge for me his range in terms of his power. When Bogdan Dinu has stepped up the levels of competition, he gets stopped. I think he's been stopped quicker than Pulev stopped him and Jarrell Miller stopped him. I think it was round 4 and round 7 respectively. 4 for Miller, 7 for Pulev, I think it was. But who really has Bogdan Dinu fought for him to get into the position anyway? And Dubois shouldn't even be in the position either for WBA Interim Heavyweight Championship, but that's another conversation as we get the official ruling from the fight. 31 seconds into the second round, down in Dubois in destructive fashion. What did you guys think of that if you saw that? What did you think of that right hand landed? At least the WBA will allow him to take his time. That's true. If you slip him a bit of money, the WBA allow you to do anything. That was a funny comment, Progressive Mind. Yeah, so Daniel Dubois with the win. What next for Daniel Dubois? Let's have a look at the WBA heavyweight rankings. We sort of can't really hear Bunsey in here, which is a shame for some people, isn't for others. Let's have a quick look. Heavyweight rankings of the WBA. Right then. Oh, Trevor Bryan is the fucking, what is it? Gold or heavyweight or whatever it is. Absolute fast with that sort of situation. Oh yeah, I remember. Fucking hell, you just made me remember the whole fucking Ruslan Chagayev, Freza Kendo, Lucas Brown, Trevor Bryan, Chagayev, Mahmoud Shah situation. I don't even want to go into that. But yeah, so anyway, you got Usyk at number 1, Ortiz at number 2, Ruiz Jr. at number 3, Dino at 4, Wilder 5, 6 Martin, 7 Hunter, Cabial at 8. Cabial's fighting tonight against Kevin Johnson. 9 Kaunaki, 10 Dubois. You'd think that Dubois would take Dinu's ranking there, but with him being interim, would he go above Usyk? How the hell do these rankings work? Dubois versus Ortiz would be a cracker. Dubois versus Martin might be a lot more likely. They'll hold that position. Dubois versus Jagba would be great if they can make those fights. But you imagine they'll hold that position or try and get entice Trevor Bryan into the fight if the WBA can order that fight, if they're given enough money to do that. And you'll have Trevor Bryan as like fucking hell, I was about to say legit world champion, but it's the world and supers, don't they? And that's WBA fucking rankings. You'll have Trevor Bryan as a WBA world champion and Dubois interim, and they make the fight there with that until they're ready to do whatever they're doing with Joshua, maybe. At least on a serious note, the guy's living his dreams to play it. Yeah, of course. Like, full credit to Dan Dubois. And look, the way he was treated by the media, who were just piling in on him, was just so unfair, I thought. For such a young guy. But he'll come through that. That sort of thing will build character. Unfortunately, you have to do it that sort of and have to have it the hard way. But it'll build character. Got a big smile on his face. Fair play to him. This guy, Daniel Dubois, for me, no doubt has world championship potential. In my opinion, he will win a world title for sure. There's such a lack of talent outside of the big boys in the world heavyweight division where you definitely see Dubois, even if he had lesser talent than he had now, he'd still win a world title. You got fucking Trevor Bryan with a world title. That tells you as much as you need to know. But yeah, Daniel Dubois for me will win a world title. I thought that before the Joyce fight. I thought that even still after the Joyce fight. As long as everything's okay, with the physique, the body, the skull, most importantly, the eyes, most importantly, of Dubois, he will win a world title. Shane McGuigan will help to unlock that potential of him. There was a bit of that movement there, which is what you want to see from the head. You did see that. I think I only remember picking it up maybe once or twice, but it was there, which is good. That's a start. That's a foundation to build upon. A good foundation for Daniel Dubois to build upon with Shane McGuigan. That's what you need. It would have been terrible if he come in against Bogdan Dinu and lost to Bogdan Dinu. That would have been like the other fella said, Gotcha Christian said, it would have been career over for him. Not quite career over, but it would have been a terrible, terrible setback if that had happened. Right then, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I do content here for this channel. As soon as my PC is set up, content is coming, different content that's not quite the same thing from all other boxing channels. I've got my heart, mind, and soul set up on all that sort of stuff. So please do like and subscribe button. Please do. Let's say that again. Please do hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have kept me company and gave me some good conversation and chat in this live stream here, and hopefully you guys will join me for future live streams as you've given me some good interaction here tonight. I greatly appreciate that. Progressive Mind is a new sub. Progressive Mind has clicked that like and subscribe button and shown me some support and love. Thank you so much, Progressive Mind. Again, one of the guys in here. You have Michael Thompson, Sean O'Connell, Gotcha Christian, Les Reed, Michael Topor, Is Boris, Marilina Eremia, I Am Legend, Cotton Eye Joe is in here, James Gornall, Declan Scott, Madfoot 21 Plays, James Windsor. All big love to you guys. Let me show you. Hit that with me on the screen. I appreciate you guys joining me. Yeah, so content coming up here on this channel, live streams, other content as well. Go over to Boxing News TV. Make sure as well you follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you have those platforms. Go over to Boxing News TV. I interview there for Boxing News TV. You can check out my interviews with Peter Fury, Tyon Booth, with Chris Eubank Jr., with Josh Warrington. More content and interviews coming there. And I've done stuff for Boxing Social as well, which is good. So check out that Boxing Social as well if you haven't already. But I'm going to get out of here. We've seen Tommy Fury win on points against Jordan Grant. We've seen Nathan Heaney win in the third round, body shot stoppage against Ilya Markov. And we have seen Daniel Dubois win with a straight right hand to the chin of Bogdan Dinu, stopping him. He couldn't answer the count in the third round. In the second round, sorry. So, Daniel Dubois with the victory, onwards and upwards. He rebuilds his career. Much needed victory for him. I've been Ames. You guys have joined me. I greatly appreciate that. Much more boxing coming. I can't even say it right. Much more boxing content coming your way. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much for joining me.